Hello everyone. Welcome to my Sparkle and Shine with Amanda. Today I'm going to apply this nail set. This is for St. Patrick's Day called Shamrockin' and Rollin'. I might be using accent nail. I haven't decided, but I have a vintage set that is gold. I do have some in stock to sell if you are interested. This is Gold Coast. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my nails are naked right now. And yes, I have some peeling. And that is from all the sanitizers and hand washing and tapping my nails and doing all the wrong things that you shouldn't be doing with your nails. So I want to start off with how I prep my nails. So take off all my nail polish. Then I use a cuticle softener and remover. I think I got this at Sally's, so many years ago. I've used this, and as you can see, it lasts a long time. A little bit goes a long way, so you guys don't need to buy a bottle this large. This one is by Super Nail. I've had it for a long time. So it says, file nails and soak in water solution. Dry hands and apply cuticle softener and remover. Gently push cuticles back with Cuticle Pusher. Remove excess with towel and apply cuticle cream. Do not use nippers unless necessary to remove hangnails. Wash and dry both hands. You are now ready to continue with your manicure. So I apply this on my cuticles. Then I have a couple different cuticle pushers that I use. I have an orange stick. I have a metal curved pusher. These both scrape, and so I try not to use these as much as possible. And I have my rubber tipped. So depending on my cuticles, what I like to start with is I use the orange stick first. Pardon me, I got some polish on there. This one I can be vigorous with and just I scrape it really good, push those cuticles back and clean. So I did not do this yet, but I will do one to show you. So there's a little drop. I rub it in and I just kind of let it sit there for a bit. Then I take my cuticle pusher and I can vigorously scrape with this one, with the orange stick, because it's not going to damage my nails. I push underneath that cuticle the best I can so I can try and scrape off as much of the cuticle. And you'll see as you start scraping, you'll see little chunks come off. And what that is, and I pay special attention to the areas of my skin. I can feel a lump when I'm scraping. And for live's sake here, I'm just going to use a cloth to wipe it off. And I can actually still see a little bit there. So this is when I take my metal one and I gently, so I keep the shape of the nail with the cuticle. And I gently just go in and make sure it's all nice and clean. And I kind of pull up on the cuticle and you can see some of it starts to pop off. And this doesn't hurt, and it's on there. I mean, it doesn't hurt me simply because I have pushed back my cuticles for so many years. But you can see the pieces start to come off. Those pieces can get stuck underneath your nail strips, and so then they won't adhere properly. So then I can come in through with this and scrape off the best that I can. And it's not coming off. So I could, at this point, then come in with my cuticle nippers. You want these to be very sharp and sanitize each time. So that I can come through and very gently go through and kind of grab those pieces. I'm not really nipping at my skin. I'm just kind of grabbing these pieces, and you can see the stuff that's coming off. I just want to get my nail bed prepped and clean as much as possible and get the debris off so that these nail strips have a chance to actually stick to my nail and so that they last a little longer. use my fingernail to make sure I got it all off. This is when I would take the opportunity to go to the bathroom and use a nail brush and soap and water. But since I'm doing this live with you ladies, or I guess it's not necessarily live, I'm recording this, but I don't want to have to jump up and go to the washroom and come back. And I'm trying to remember what I did with all of my, there we go, my alcohol prep pads. So I'm just going to use this to clean that off for now. And then for the most part, it is ready to go. If that does not work for you, I suggest using a very light nail polish or nail file. And you could take the curve and gently file in this area to make sure that you've gotten off all that dead cuticle. I even sometimes like to very gently get the ends of my nail so that it's roughed up just a little bit so it has something to grab. I do have a buffer block that you can get just about anywhere. I don't suggest using the rough. I use this to shorten my nails one day. Buff is probably the best one. And you can buff your nails too lightly. Get it ready for adhesion. So, because if it's super silky and smooth, because I know you've been moisturizing, it's not going to want to grip a hold of as much. So then you can polish if you don't want too much of a groove. So if you have grooves on your nails, this is something you can totally use. Don't go back and forth too much. You will thin out your nails. And you can shine, which I don't suggest before application. So yeah, I'm going to clean this nail again with the alcohol pad. Sorry, got out of, and let that dry. If you are struggling with dry nails, as I have been, and dry cuticles, I've heard of many people talk about this, and I made the purchase and tried it myself. Hard as Hoof Nail Strengthening Cream. I got it off of Amazon. And I'm going to say I'm impressed. My cuticles are so much happier. My nails seem like they're happier. And I've only been using this for about a week. But that's what I've started using. So if you're having a little bit of difficulty with your cuticles, and even maybe your nails being a little too dry, because you want to take a little bit of a break if you can during application, but you can also use this when your nail strips are on. So I do this, not everybody does, but I do because I want a little extra strength. I use a natural nail base coat. So you do what works for you. I've heard some people when they use a base coat that their nails chip more. I personally have not experienced that. It's actually helping me with the peeling more than anything. So yeah, I need to kind of clean this. It's old and I've made a mess of it. So nail polish remover. I got to remember this next time to clean that. So I just brush off one side and I just do a quick application. Careful not to touch any of my nail, and I try not to touch the skin, and not my nail, my skin, and I just do a quick application. I don't want it too thick, but I do pay attention to the tips a little bit more. Make sure there's no fuzz. See? I struggle. Everybody has one hand they're solid on. I'm right-handed, and I'm putting this on with the left hand, and I struggle. This is one of the biggest reasons I love the nail strips. Because both hands can look nice. See what I'm talking about on this nail, or this cuticle? See how dry it is on either side? That was much worse last week. And I had been using creams and and whatnot, and it just didn't seem to help at all till I got the hardest hoof, and it is really making a difference for me. And I've used cuticle oils as well. Now I'm going to show you cuticle oil. And I do like it. It's just, it takes a bit of time to sit there and not do anything. So I can rub the cream in and go. And it feels good. But cuticle oil is absolutely amazing too. So this is a professional product. Because I don't know if any of you know, I am also a licensed nail tech. Cosmetologist. So this is for nail and cuticle care. So you can get any type of cuticle oil anywhere you want. This is just the C&D Solar Oil nail brand. And it's, so when I'm on my Zooms or in front of my computer, I tend to put this on and just rub it on, and then I'm not going anywhere and I do okay. Actually, I keep a very small bottle in my car. Okay, so then I'm just letting this dry. It doesn't take long because, and now I just touched that oil, so I need to get my little alcohol strip and rub it on my fingers so I don't have it. My fingertips are clean when I go to apply the strips. That is one thing you guys got to need to make sure that you wash your hands really well before application, and use like a Dawn soap to scrub your nails and your hands to keep them free and clear. Using the base coat when my nail is peeling this time of year, because it's so dry, really does help keep them happy as well. So now I'm going to open up the package. Pardon the scene here. I don't have something to hold my new phone, so I'm just kind of setting it over my desk riser. So that's what you see, this area over here. So it's just kind of setting up on a platform. And if I go too far, my phone will start to tip. So this is what I get. So I'm going to open up this kit. It starts off with a pretty nail, showing the polish go into the nail strip, because these are 100% nail polish. Has the instructions if you're unsure what to do. And it does tell you top coat, color, and base coat. So you do not need to apply a base coat like I just did. I'm doing it for added protection and added strength to my nails right now. These are 100% nail polish. No dry time. This is what I love about it. So your set comes with an alcohol prep pad, a beautiful little, different patterns all the time, nail file, and your strips of choice. So I'm going to just move this to the side. So once you open these packages, you need to use them immediately. However, I'm trying to, oh, well, I guess I won't do that. I don't rip them open, so there's a rip tab right here. I like to use scissors. And I cut them open. Reason being, and I cut off as little as possible. I have a flat iron, and later on, the ones that I don't use, I'm going to want to store these. So like I won't use this set, but I'll use this one because I have short nails. So when my nails get longer, I would use both sets. But when I'm done, I'll put all the extra pieces back in here. I'm going to push it down as far as I can go. And this is sometimes where my cuticle pusher comes in handy. So that I have a surface here, and I take my flat iron, hot as can be, and I crimp it, try and push out all the extra air before I do that. And I crimp it, and it seals for me to use another time. And I have found that these seals really do work very well. Okay, so now I have all these beautiful sets, and there's glitter, pattern, glitter, pattern, pattern, glitter. Okay, so I like to have as much pattern as possible. So sometimes I will use a larger set on a nail just to get the pattern I want. So I'm the largest thumb. So I just put that to the side. That is definitely what I'm going to use on my thumb. Sometimes if I want the pattern, I can use this one on my middle finger. So I'm not sure, because I like to at least go every other finger. So that'd be my middle. My pointer finger, I know for a fact, Sorry, flipping these off here. I believe, I shouldn't say I know for a fact. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Yes, it is this one. So there I got a pattern. So my middle finger doesn't necessarily be. So I try and take the larger because I do have large middle fingers. And I go with that one. And then this will be my ring finger. And my pinky is always the second to the smallest. This would be great for toes, kids, and people with very small fingernails, which I don't, unfortunately, have that. So I don't like that is a pattern because I want to go every other. So I'm going to switch it out for the one that's just a little bit larger. And I'll show you how you can take off the excess. You always apply your thumbnail last. Start with your pinky. Oh, you guys can't see all of them. Start with your pinky nail first. So I'm just going to push these four to the side. And I'm going to start with the pinky. So all the strips come with a protective coating. You want, with the purple little tab, you want to take that off. Discard that to the side. Then you have the little gray tab. And here's a number of things. So now you have this piece. You could anchor it, which helps for the application, but you want to pull off this little gray tab. And some of the strips are a little bit thinner, so you want to take that off slowly. So now, if you look at the strips, some of them are a little wider on one side than the other. So you want to look at your nail bed and decide if yours is slimmer or thicker. So I'm going to start with this hand because that's one I always do. And I'm with a thicker nail strip, you want to start on one side and go to the other. Don't go in the very center because then you're going to have to take off the excess on both sides. So I'm actually going to apply it on this side just so that you guys can see a little bit better. But see, I anchor it on the strip so I'm not constantly putting my fingers on the sticky. And that way I can kind of curve it sometimes, helps. I'm going to start on this side and get it as close to the cuticle up here as I can and close to the skin over there as I can. Then I apply that side and then I work over. And now, as you can see, this side is overlapping. And so I have another little cuticle stick that a lot of people say works really well. And I do send these out in my samples. So if you've received a sample, keep it because they help with the cutting. But until then, I'm going to use my rubber tip. You can get these on Amazon, or if you order through me directly and not through the website. So if you order from my stash, I do always send one of these. So then I kind of push underneath the cuticle. I rub it in there really good. And I use the rubber tip first because that way I can push in safely. And sometimes it'll cut it, which this one did, which is amazing. Some of the strips are a little tougher than the others. So you can see the excess that I'm going to be taking off. This is when I now take off this strip. And I push the excess. Not the excess, yeah, well, it is the excess. But anyhow, then I push until it perforates. Pushing underneath my cuticle. Then I'm going to use my thumb as a tool. I'm going to kind of rub to the tip. I like to start on one side. So I kind of pull it to make sure it's tight there. I don't pull to where it stretches. I just pull to where it's taut. Then I start on one side and I pinch. Oops, well, it just came right off. And then I go to the other side and I pinch. And then I go to the center and pinch. And when I'm pinching for it to go under. Because right now I'm not gonna file. I file later. And you know what? Because it ripped off, there's some of my nail right there. So that's a goof. It happens. So then I just take my thumbnail and I pull off that excess that I perforated earlier. And I set that to the side. And now I'm going to apply this other strip on the other pinky. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put it, you can go the inside or outside, however you choose. I'm just doing this way. I don't know why, just them. As close as I can. You have to sometimes pick it up and reapply, and that's okay. And as you see here, I got some up on that cuticle, but that's what's handy about this. When I apply, then I can push my cuticles underneath my cuticles or cut off that excess, and that's okay. You want to do it gently. Each strip I find is a little unique. Some are drier than others. Some are definitely wetter than others. And I'm not sure why that is. So that's why I wasn't quite sure how this was going to break off. This one is a little bit drier. And it could be from all the glitter that's in it. You see how I use my thumbnails to get in there and push it in and push it under my cuticle. So that way you can get as close as you can. And I'm actually going slow so I can show you guys. And after I do the pinkies, I will go faster. I just put the excess to the side. Which, mind you, if you want to do pedicures, that strip that I just took off, depending on how small your toenails are, that's a toenail. So you can have matching. And you can use pieces. It doesn't matter. So then I just push under the best that I can. And I don't always, because I actually don't like it going completely under my nail. I find it bulky. I typically can perforate with my finger to where I don't need to file unless it feels rough to me. So there's my pinkies. This one, like I said, I goofed. So this one I will file down later. And what I mean by later is I don't file right away anymore. I have learned to let these set and cure first. And then, so if I just wait overnight and then I can file in the morning, or at least like an hour later, they say 20 minutes. And that works, but I'd like to go a little bit longer. Okay, so then in my next nail, I'm just going to do these real quick to show you actually how fast I can do this. You can see with this one, it kind of curled under a little more, and that's okay, because I will file that off later. Sometimes, depending on the set, I can, depending on the glitter or the clear, it'll just perforate off very clean, and I don't even have to file at all. And make sure I press really good between on the edges here, because that's where we tend to get a lot of lifting. I just put a little pressure. See, this one I missed the part that I need to cut off. I kind of got it angled, and that's why we leave our nails, our thumbnails last. I'm sorry, I keep getting out of camera here. So I know these are a newer set, but I'm actually not, I'm going to say it, I'm not too happy with the way this one's laying. It's very dry. So it's kind of making a choppy cutoff, but you know what? They'll still stick, so I'm not too worried about it too much. I'll see that I decided not to do the gold after all. I'm actually liking the way this looks on its own. It's really kind of fun. I'm a little frustrated with the way that's not curling, but I think it's because of the chunks of glitter on the inside. One thing you want to make sure of is that your nail strips are warm and your nails are warm. And I'm wondering if my nail sets were just a little too cool. And that could be the case. And what you can do to salvage this, if they're a little too cool, is you can go put your hands underneath the hairdryer and then continue pressing. In fact, that's what I'm going to do when I'm done. Oops. So everybody's got their little tips and tricks, and sometimes we goof. Those I do have tips and tricks for if you goof. Okay. So I waited for my thumbs. So if you goof, so there's been times where, like when I was cutting in here, I've accidentally cut some of the nail with my thumb and I left a gap. You can take your excess strips and just, you can even halfway place on it. Yes, you'll have a ridge, but this is what's great. You can do a top coat or clear as day, and that ridge is gone. You don't even know it. You don't see it, nothing. The only one who knows about it is you, but everybody else can't see it. So that's what I also use these really tiny strips for. I've actually been known to make the tiny ones like a half a strip. You know, I kind of like that. I might just do that. I'm going to do that so I can show you guys how to do that. That's fun. See, that's what's great about these is you can just play with the strips and use them up however you see fit. So I'm actually going to use a thicker area here. I'm going to make part of my nail the green glitter. So again, we can just push in here with our nail to perforate, or our tools, but the thumbs work great. So then over here, I'm going to perforate. I could use this strip maybe. Nope. I could use it on my pinky if I had the pattern on my pinky. And then I'm just going to go underneath and pinch underneath like previous. So yes, now I have that ridge there. So it's up to you if that bothers you or not. If you had nail tape, you could just do a black line across there, or a white or a gold. That could be fun. Because honestly, they kind of blend and I don't see it as much, but I'm still going to leave it. I think it's going to be fun. Actually, I might have some gold tape. I forgot that I bought these on Amazon until right now. So let's see if I've got some gold. I've never used this before, so you get to see firsthand what it's like opening from the package if you've never. Ooh, it's sticky. Okay, so then, like any roll of tape, you've got to find the beginning. Here we go. So I'm just going to take a section. I'm going to use scissors to cut it. Ooh, this is scary and exciting at the same time because I have not used this before. And look at that. Look what I just did there. How fun is that? Same thing. I think you believe you just perforate it like we do. Our nails, and then they come right off. No, they don't. So this is one I think we need to snip with some scissors. It does not. But I can probably use my handy dandy little tool here. Be careful not to cut yourself, but let's see if it'll work. I think this is why they apply them on the nails, on the nail strips prior, but I'm going to try and snip that out of there. I don't know, we'll see. But I have a crease there. You all hold your breath like I am. Okay. Yay! It went in there. So this one. And that went in there. There we go. That actually looks pretty darn cool. So I do suggest measuring this out over your strip before you do it. Actually, I am so in love with that. So now, yeah, you have a little bit of a ridge here. So I'm going to use Clear as Day. So now you'll get to see what that looks like. Oops. Gotta find my right package here that has the Clear as Day in it. So my cousin gave me this. You know, these are just for our coupons. Look, we can store all our unused or not in the package strips. Yay! So I have a set that I told you that I'd seal. So this is Clear as Day, and I think there's a piece in there that'll work. Then I just cut off the melted section, the sealed section that I sealed, and reach in there and grab the ones I think will work. So these look white. They are not. These are Clear as Day. You get 4 packages in one, 4 sleeves, I should say, in one package. Clear. This is a top coat. So now I'm just going to place this. I think this one's too big, but that's okay. Over the top. Yeah, I think my room's a little too cold. But that's okay. I'll warm it up later. But it is suggested for best use is to have warm hands, warm nail strips. And these are a little bit on the thicker side. So for me, they're a little hard to perforate. So I'm going to squeeze it. And then perforate with my thumb. It kind of gives me a little bit more to grab a hold of. And I wasn't going to use that other half anyhow. But there you go. Add a little extra fun. Like I said, I'm going to go put it underneath the hairdryer and warm them up a bit. But that is a top coat. And now you still feel the bumps, but there's nothing that's going to get caught. So those are my regular fingers. Notice I still kept my thumbs as my tools. Tools last. So I don't know. I'm thinking about adding a pattern. Or maybe I will open up the gold. And this is what I find is so gosh darn fun about Color Street. Everything's so versatile. I'm actually going to open on the opposite end this time because I know I'm going to use the pinky and I just don't want to pull it all out. But this gives me something to actually use these pinkies for, which is fun. All right, so I'm going to use the gold. Should I do ring finger or middle finger? I think I'm going to do the ring. So I'm going to place it on. Nope. See, and what's great, I can lift it up and try again. I want more of an angle. And I want to make sure that I get this corner really well this time. Yeah, okay. Then I can press down really firmly. I got some nails stuck on there. I can perforate with that, which I didn't mean to, but it just happened. That's how great it is. And sit there and just rub it on really good. Use my thumbs as tools. Pull off excess, which now, see this? Gold can be for a pinky toe. For a nice petty. And I pull this to the tip. Oops, sorry, pull this to the tip. And I'm going to just start to perforate. Pull off excess. Okay, so that's kind of fun. So now I don't want to do a gold strip there. I kind of want to do a different. Let's see, what do I got in here? Do I have a black? Because I'm thinking a black could be fun. Oh, heck, I'm going to dump them all out. I guess I could do, nah, I don't want to do orange. Ooh. These are so much fun. I wish I'd opened these up earlier. Now I'm going to. And yeah. These will be, I got these to give away as gifts, and I think that's going to be a little hard for me to do. I'm going to have to buy more so I can do that. Oh, not going to lie. I think this is black. Or it's a dark blue. That's one thing, is these are kind of hard to tell exactly what color they are. You have to look at the side to see the colors. That kind of gives you an indicator on the side. Boy, my videos ended up long. I apologize. Fast forward. Oh, come on. They gotta have, I think this one must be the black. Okay, so see, look at this. Nails dry, sticking in the sleeve. This is what's awesome. Okay, I think this is the black. So then I gotta find, like with any tape, there he is. This time I'm gonna try and pre-cut. Oh gosh, come on. I know it's there. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope, that was definitely it. Ooh, technical difficulties for sure. Oh gosh, come on. Work with me here. I wonder if I'm going the wrong way. This one didn't have an obvious color like the other one did. Oh, I think I'm getting it. Yay. Yay. Okay, where's my scissors? There we go. So I'm just going to cut off a section here. Ooh, that's going to be hard to find the next time. So I'm going to kind of guesstimate. Probably should have done less gold, but you know, at the tip, but I like it. It's something fun and different. I wish these were definitely easier to perforate. There we go. It's too bad I'm wasting that little piece, but that's okay. Anyhow, so there's that. And then I'm going to do another clear as day, looking through all my stuff here. As a top coat. So I like to take the Cuticle Pusher and so I can push really hard and rub it on there really good to get good adhesion. And I'm going to squeeze this one again like I did the last one. It kind of helps with a little bit more control on it to perforate with my thumbnail. There we go. Excess, throw away. All right. Look at how fun those are. Yeah, see, my nails are a little cold, I think. So much fun. Okay, so now I'm going to do my thumb. Sometimes on my thumbs, I do have to use both large strips. It just depends on the curvature. I've noticed with the thumbs, some of them are more square. I think so you could use on the toenails. And this is more curved for your nail. So some people, I guess, have more of a square, which I do. This one's a little bit more curvy. This one's a little bit more square. So normally I apply this one, but I've learned I use this thumb as more of a tool. So I'm going to apply this thumb first. Because I don't know, my thumbs just seemed shaped funny. I like to start in the corners. I take this again and I just smooth and rub those sides really good for good adhesion. My nails are growing out again, so I may not have enough for this thumb. I'm just going to kind of lay it on there and see if I have enough or not. I do not. So I'm going to have to pull from the package. Ooh, I got an idea. Oh, make sure that's the sticky one. Yeah, I'm going to. I was trying to decide if I wanted to do that or not, but I'm going to. I've opened up the gold package. I'm going to pull out, oops, if it'll come out, there we go. One thumb, so that way I have a full nether set, and sometimes I'll split it with my daughter, so this will be hers. Although she doesn't use the thumb. She has a smaller thumb. I'm not sure what I should do. Should I do a gold thumb? I'm deciding against the gold thumb. I'm going to use this one. After all, because that will be a full set for my daughter, because she does not need the larger thumb like I do. And here we go. I know these can be applied faster. I just really like to take my time. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy applying these. So I guess the excess, hello, toenails. So don't waste your product if you don't have to. I try and use as much as I can. I'm actually going to use, where'd it go? There we go. The wooden one here to perforate so I can use the other strip. So you don't want to use your thumbnail because I don't know about you, but I sometimes end up gumming up this one by trying to put on this thumbnail. So you can use a tool carefully and gently so that you don't take off excess that you don't need to take off. And then look at that. I still have another piece that I can use for another finger or another toe. Say goof. You can most certainly put this back on the smoother side. Careful, because on these papers, one is rough and the other one's smooth. You could put this back on your strip, seal it up, save it to use next time. Or if you have a goof and you mess up your nail, which that happens sometimes, you know, we get rough on our hands and do something. You can do a patch job, which I have actually done. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but Color Street does not suggest. This is just ideas that I'm throwing out, which I'm going to save. I'm going to save those and I'm going to seal them. So I'm going to put these back in. I don't know, just so forewarn you, if these will save well. So this is a tester for me to see if they will. These I know will, because these don't have the top clear coat, the plastic on them to give them that extra protection so they don't dry out. This one. So this is a tester for me. I'll let you know how it goes. See if it works or not. But I'm gonna everything's sticking in my hands now. I'm going to stick them in here with the others and we'll see. And like I said, I will squeeze out as much of the air as I can. Take my hot flat iron, or even your curling iron, and you can crimp it closed. All right, there you see my mess. And this is typical for me, and then I have to clean up and everything else. So here is my full set. Yes, I don't have it pushed under all of that right now because I'm going to go to that hair dryer and make sure it got it good. And I'm going to wait 20 to 30 minutes before I file. I'll come back and file and show you. See you in a few. And I'm back in my little presentation. I went and warmed up my hands with a hair dryer and everything started smoothing out a lot better. So now I'm just waiting my time to cure them. See, I got some pieces here that I'll just take care of when I file. Well, it comes off now. Anyhow, so, because I do have some rough edges and I don't like it. And I know some people it doesn't bother them. Me, I don't like it. But anyhow, here's my mani that I did myself, that I didn't pay 50, 60 some odd dollars at the salon. And actually that is one of the biggest reasons I got into Color Street, is my daughter had just paid an outrageous amount at a salon. And I know this because I used to do this as for a living. I also wanted to share with you, you can still put polish over these strips because they are 100% nail polish. So you can layer it with other glitters if you want. You can put jewels on here. You can put tape on here like I showed. I also wanted to show you that I have now cleaned up my mess. I repackaged everything. I've resealed. This is a tight seal. It will not come undone unless I cut it off. So each time I open these, I cut off a section. So, but by that time, you're scooting them down. So here's my clear as day to use again another time. So this is what I'm talking about, how you end up losing space. So once they get to a certain point, you either got to put them with another set or you got to move on. And just to show that this isn't the first time, this is what I've done with many others. And I get to use them again and again and again. I keep my favorites. I have more. They're just in another. So now these will go with these in my little file folder. So, although I do put the clear as day back in with the clear as day, so I know to use those first. But this is what I keep my extras in. So the ones in the center are brand new. They haven't been used. They just came out of a box, and I went, I'll just save them for another time. So anyhow, this is just one of those little coupon things, and I would have never thought about doing this except for my wonderful cousin showed me this. So now it's time to file. So time has passed by. I've heated them up. I've done what I was going to do. I've even used the restroom. And actually, it was immediately as soon as I turned off that, because, yep, you know, TMI. But you guys, this is how amazing these strips are. If you had wet nails, there's just no way on earth you could have gone to use the restroom right after. Okay, so now it's time to file. Everyone has a different perspective on this. Some go up and down, just like this. Some go side, then side, then side. Do what works for your nails. Everybody's nails are developed differently. I'm seeing something over here that's just really irritating me. I did not clip off the excess, or pinch it off. So I'm hoping with the filing it'll come off, because they really don't. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So Color Street gives you these fabulous little nail files, but to me they're kind of awkward to use. They are good though. They are good. However, they're a little coarse for what I want. It'll work good for getting off the really thick. Yeah, that'll work for the thick. But I also have my professional ones, and you guys can have your own. So this is a smoother grit. This is a thicker grit. I rarely use this one. And this is even a finer, and then thicker. So depending on the nail. So I start from one side, work my way over. So I don't file my nails before I put these on or shape them, because, well, they're going to get shaped when I do this. And so see, some spots have to go down, because that's where the file is. And then I just take any dust that I got in there, and look, there's some more nail. So I'm going to take my file, gently file that off. You're not supposed to saw back and forth. And I know a lot of people swear by those glass files. I've known about glass files for a long time. They don't work for me. I don't like them. They're thick. They're cumbersome. I prefer to go under the nail and just go in one direction with a very fine grit. Then I get the feel and the texture that I want. And that's what I do. So, nice and clean. I like the bare nail to show, and then I'm going to show you what I do afterwards. But I'm going to finish filing, because I have something that I want to show you that I can do, that you can do. It is a professional product, but I do believe they sell them to the general public now at Sally's, so you can get your own. So I'm going to pause here for a bit, and then I'll be right back. I decided to restart on this one. So this is the one that has clear as day, so it's a little bit thicker. So when I started filing, that big gooky thing came up, and that's okay. So when you file with a file, you don't saw back and forth. You go one direction towards the center from the outside. So now I got this gook. So I'm just going to gently file down to get that excess off. You don't want it, you know, like really reef it down. I've seen some people do that. Just gently. Just remember, your nails are delicate. So again, I still got some of that nail on there, or the strip. And there it comes up. And because some of it is sticking under, I take some of them because I do. I have 3 layers here. So that's understandable. You can even see the layers on my nail. How thick it is. And you know what? For a lot of people, that is great, especially if they have thin nails. It really helps to strengthen them. But this is where you can shape your nails. You want to have pretty much the shape down before, but I've done all the other nails. I stopped here just to show you how you get that goop out. And yes, I know there is a crease there. That drives me crazy. And I'm hoping this will go out with the next process I'm going to show you that I do. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So my nails have been filed. There's a couple little flaws here and there from creases. So I know a lot of people don't want to reuse actual nail polish because they're like, what's the point? Why am I using polish if I'm doing the strips? Whole reason I'm doing the strips so I don't have to deal with wet polish. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to. That's what's great about these. The only reason I do is because my nails need just a little bit extra right now. They've been super thin and dry this last winter. So I'm kind of nursing them, and I'm really hard on my hands. So I like to do a little extra little thick and protection. So the base coat, like I said, is simply just for my natural nail. I don't have to. These strips come with a natural a base coat. So like I said, you don't have to. And what I'm going to show you is I'm going to use a top coat. A lot of people like to use what's called a plumper. I haven't used them before, but what it does is it makes your nails look a little thicker and kind of gives you that salon look. So I'm not sure of the brand, but I've heard about it. But this is what I've been using. So this is a top coat that dries under a light. So this is the light. It's a special type of UV light. I've had this actually since beauty school, so that's how long I've had it. That's how long I've used it. You can get these in glossy. You can get these in matte. This is a glossy. So this will give me that plumpy, thicker look. And it gives my strips that extra protection. And this is where I will give it some extra protection on the tips. This is where this one bottle's actually getting low and I need to buy, I have a new one, I just need to transfer it over. So you'll see me tipping it just a little bit. So when I pull it out, you can see that big drippy clump. I make sure that I swipe one side so I leave that on one end. And I do apply it generously. It doesn't take much, but I do put quite a bit on the top. And I make sure when I go that I kind of brush over the tips. And quite honestly, if any of this gets on my skin, it is not a big deal. It'll wash off. So this is what I do. I know I put a clear as day top coat on there, but I want that plumpier look. This also helps activate if you had a nail strip that may have been a little too dry. This actually helps activate that strip to be a little bit more moist, to adhere better to your nail. So I just go through and add it to each one. This one's getting kind of old and dry, so I kind of need to get a new one. That's how much I've used it. And I pay special attention to the tips to try and give it some extra little protection and life. You see how right on this finger, it already plumped and made that black line stand out a lot more than it did before. And I think it just helps define the shades. It just changes. Like here, I now can see the black much more, and the clover is more defining. That's just my opinion. And you most certainly do not have to do this. This is, you know, if it goes against your grain, that's okay. You know, it's great about these strips is that you can make them what works for you. You don't have to do all the fancy nail art. You can just buy them as is and slap them on and call it good. Like, this is the first time I've ever done this. And I did it on here with you guys. So it's the first time. And I actually am really happy with myself and quite proud of myself. So kind of got out of my comfort zone. Granted, this is a recorded video. I could go back, but I'm not. I have not edited this, so that's why it's so gosh darn long. And that way you can go back and watch it as much as you want. I'm hoping it'll post to Facebook. Like I said, my bottle's getting really low, so I have to go back and get more dips. But I know some other people who have asked me this specifically. And if you do your own gel nails at home and you polish them on, you most certainly, because this is 100% nail polish, you can most certainly use a clear gel on these to make them last even longer. That is purely up to you. I mean, I personally don't like my sets to last that long. I like to change them out. You know, 7 to 10 days is the max for me. 7 is my cutoff. You know, it's like, okay, I've had them on long enough. I can switch them out. I don't know about you guys. I've just had so much fun with these. And I've had so much fun with all of you. And seeing what you get and see what you do with your nails. I mean, it's a new adventure every time I see somebody's nail phase. So yeah, like I said, I'm putting on quite a bit. So is this drying while I'm putting it on? A little bit. Is it setting? No. This is strictly meant to be, so now yes, my nails are wet. I'm not going to run off and do anything because I know I have to spend time for this. But this is when my light comes in handy. So you got to be careful when you go in there. And I actually let it sit in there for a couple minutes. I tend to go longer because it's warm and when it feels good. And I just want to make sure it sets really, really well and gives me time to watch that problem nail. Because see that gold, it wrinkled. And it did that when I put the clear stay on there. One thing about the non-glitter nails is you have to be careful towards the tips and make sure it's smooth and it gets on there right without a wrinkle. So wrinkles do happen. And those ones are kind of a pain. But the glitters, I really haven't had an issue with the glitters. But I will say those creams are a little bit more temperamental. And I just didn't put much time into it. But honestly, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. And then when I put that clear as day on there, it kind of thickened it up a little bit more. So do what works for you. I prefer, I use clear as day, especially when I use, I'll show you. And I just got these two. They're so, where'd they go? Here they go. So much fun as well. One hand and everything. There are these wonderful, cute, fun sticker type things. And these are zippers that you can get on Amazon. Okay, so, you know, they're this little square size. You can get colored ones. Let me pull those out. These are mostly flowers and stuff. This is actually 2 sheets kind of stuck together right now. Flowers, colored flowers. You can get white flowers. So you are not missing out on that salon stuff. And this is what you'd want to put on. So those are mustaches. So these are mustaches and flowers, skulls, bows, you name it. You can get seasonal. See your little white flowers that you normally would get at the salon. You don't have to miss out on the salon stuff other than the pampering. And there's no law against you going to a salon every now and again. This is just a more affordable way for me to pamper myself and to feel good about myself. The nails are something that I can do, you know. Polishing them before was such a challenge to make it look beautiful. And so you don't get flaws. Because yes, I went to beauty school. Yes, I can do this. But when it comes to my own hands, whew, it's rough. So I can polish this hand. I can polish my left. No issues whatsoever. But when it comes to my right, you saw how I struggled. I have a hard time putting anything on my right. So there is my finished. And is it dry? Yes, I'm touching it. There is nothing that is dry. That is solid. And that's what's nice about this UV top coat. So you have dry nail polish strips, and now you have dry nail polish top coat. There's so many brands out there. It doesn't have to be this one. You just want the UV activated top coat. So it's dry, like within a snap. And now I can go do whatever. I can go put on gloves and go work out in my yard if I want to. Or I can go bare-fingered and do it, but I don't want to do that because it just dries out my hands even more. So, and cuts them up and scratch them up. But you can. You can. So, you can go use the restroom. You can go change a diaper. You can go do the dishes. I suggest you maybe wait and submerging your hands for a while just to let it cure. The best time to put on your nails strips is right before bed. Opposite of when you would actually polish your nails, because if you polish them and then went to bed, you know how it is. You think they're dry, but then they're not, and you wake up and they're all messed up. And then you're upset and you cry and you're like, ah. So these we do suggest right before bed. So they can cure. And then I file in the morning, or like I just did, I had a long period in between. They suggest 20 minutes minimum. I go as long as I possibly can, and then I file. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. My nails are almost dry on the other side. But this is so much fun. I'm so happy I did that, especially with you guys. It's my first time. I wasn't sure about the nail tape and about doing that, but I'm in love. All right, so they are both done. If I want to do another layer, especially on this one, I could like try and straighten that out, but you know what, honestly, I'm good with it. I'm probably gonna end up filing, because these are gonna last a while. I'm probably gonna end up filing the tip a little more anyhow. And you can most certainly add another clear coat if you want, but yep, I have dry nails now. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope some of those tips and tricks helped you. And have any questions, feel free to message me or even comment on this post. So these are my St. Patrick's Day nails. I was trying to find something to put right there because I think that was just too much gold for me. But, you know, it's different. Accent nails are fun. All right, everybody.